Welcome everyone to a Hispanic Heritage Celebration with Rush Street Interactive. Bienvenidos. If you are new to HITEC, welcome. I am Kelly Francis, the director of the HITEC Foundation. We are dedicated to empowering the next generation of Hispanic technology leaders. To date, the HITEC Foundation has awarded $815,000 in scholarships to 163 students across the United States. Along with scholarships, these students receive one-on-one mentorship, as well as career development workshops and internship support. Today, I'm super excited to have you here. We're chatting with our friends and partner, Rush Street Interactive. RSI is a publicly traded market leader in online casino and sports betting. They're a new breed of gaming company that focuses on developing and operating real money and social gaming online products. We're super excited to have 4 RSI employees here to share their journeys in their careers, how they ended up in the gaming industry, and what RSI means to them. Let's get started and meet our panelists. Edgar, can you introduce yourself and the rest follow suit?
I'm Edgard Aguirre, Rush Street Interactive's Tech Hub Director for Colombia. I oversee RSI's engineering operation in Colombia and provide support and leadership across all functions in the Tech Hub. Emilia?
Hi, I am Emilia Perez. I'm Rushbet's Marketing Director for LATAM. I am in charge of managing all the advertising we do for the brand in Colombia and soon in the rest of the region. Nancy.
Hi, I'm Nancy Ramirez Ayala. I'm a Vice President of Legal. I protect and enforce our intellectual property rights, and I'm also the company's privacy and data protection lawyer. Luis?
Hi, I'm Luis Panetto, also Vice President of Legal. Work very closely with Nancy. I was the first in-house attorney hired at RSI over 3 years ago. And while I handled all the legal issues there for a while, now I'm much more focused on our business development efforts and expansion in both the US and Latin America.
Amazing. It is so nice to meet you all. Rush Street is a new power player in the gaming industry. Luis, can you share what opportunities are currently available at Rush Street Interactive?
Sure. So I say this a lot, that RSI is a fast-growing company in a very fast-growing industry. When I started 3 years ago, we had about 60 people, and now we have grown about 10 times that to almost 650 people. And as online gaming legalizes in more states and more countries, RSI will keep growing. What this means is that we have openings in many, many fields, from finance and compliance in Chicago to base admins in Colombia to player support agents in New Jersey and more. You can always find our current list of openings on our careers page. And if you don't see anything in your area, please apply anyway, because we're a global company and we're always open to remote work where possible.
That's amazing. Thank you, Luis, for sharing some of those openings, which leads me to question how each of you found out about RSI and how you started there. So Nancy, would you like to start us off and kind of share maybe how you found out about Rush Street Interactive?
Sure. So I started at RSI about almost a year ago after a friend that I worked with at another sports betting company thought I would be a good fit for RSI. She'd only been with the company for a couple of months, and she loved the people, the company culture, and the fantastic growth opportunities for the company and for its employees. So finding a great job at an amazing company can be all about leveraging your network. Your friends and colleagues usually won't steer you wrong.
I love that. Edgar, what's your perspective?
Well, I started in January 2021 at RSI as Senior Engineering Manager in charge of an entire business vertical. But from the beginning with the clear goal of creating engineering operations here in Colombia and thus supporting the global strategy. In January 2022, I was promoted to Tech Hub Director with like the clear goals of creating that operation and supporting different parts from there, like for the global strategy we have. I believe we are at an exciting growth cycle for the company and can't wait to see the new heights we can reach.
Luis, how did you end up at RSI?
Amazingly. So after working at a big law firm for a while, I started my in-house career actually in gaming, but at a land-based casino in Chicago within Rush Street Gaming, which is actually an affiliate of RSI. So I already knew some of the people at RSI, and when RSI was getting bigger, like I mentioned, and they went looking for a lawyer who could also handle HR, which I did, I raised my hand, and here I am over 3 years later. What keeps me here really is, three things. The amazingly high level of intellect of the people I work with every day, really the ability to do impactful work, and as we've all mentioned, the growth opportunities.
I love it. Emilia, was yours as connected of a path for you?
Well, it was actually crazy. I actually studied psychology, but then I decided to explore marketing. So I studied marketing management. I got an opportunity in a marketing agency after I graduated and started the career there. But a few years later, I worked for the digital agency that was actually hired by Rushbet, which is our Colombian brand. And that's how I ended up working here. Basically, the story is when I quit from that agency, RSI made me a great offer. And of course, I had no doubts. And that was 2 years ago now.
Congratulations. I love that you all have such diverse backgrounds. Edgar, I'd love to hear how your previous work experience prepared you for your current career at RSI.
Sure, I have alternate between very technical positions as software developer and manager and managerial and support roles for companies seeking to establish and maintain engineering operations in the country, in Colombia. I think having a background as a software developer has allowed me to understand firsthand, and this is important, the needs and expectations of our collaborators, and to shape the organization here in Colombia around them, which is crucial for us in such a competitive market.
Nancy, did you have a similar experience?
So my career path was more of a jungle gym as opposed to a straight up and down ladder. But I also think that my diverse legal and business background, coupled with life experiences, make me a unique addition to really a first-class legal team in a technology and gaming company like RSI. The key is to keep learning along the way and picking up knowledge and real world experiences along the way. I also read a lot of books on leadership, and I keep fresh in my specific area of law, even though I've been practicing intellectual property law for over 20 years. And then a few years back, I saw some really interesting things happening in the privacy and data protection space. And I knew it was something that I wanted to learn and become an expert in. And so the privacy and data protection legal area and intellectual property fit really well together. And I'm able to do both things at RSI. I'm loving it.
That's fantastic. Luis, I would like to hear about your previous experience too and how it set you up for your role at RSI.
Sure. So talking about previous experiences, in addition to just simply learning the law, my previous work, I think, did two things for me mainly. First, it taught me how to fit into a larger company and actually help drive the business forward from the legal perspective. My first boss, who was not a lawyer at all, he told me that my job was not to just tell the business what could go wrong. Something can always go wrong. My job was to figure out how to find the best solution to a problem, make a decision, and live with it. In addition, I think my previous work experiences showed me how valuable it is to really build relationships both in the company with coworkers and outside the company with other people in my industry. Like I mentioned, it's part of the reason that I'm here at RSI.
That advice from your boss is very inspiring. I think it transfers across all industries. Be a problem solver and come with the solutions that would be needed. And so I think that's kind of getting into our next question of what skills might be needed to work and succeed at a company like Rush Street Interactive. And if possible, I'd like for you all to answer, starting with Emilia.
Well, I think to succeed here, you need to be committed and open to learn as much as you can. Actually, that's one of the things that have kept me here, to know that I will be learning something new every day. I'd say another quality you should have is for sure teamwork. The environment in RSI is very nice and people are very open to help others and to be friendly. So definitely, if you want to fit here, make sure to be nice.
So as an in-house lawyer for RSI, it's really important to apply business-oriented approaches when managing risks for the company. So every day I get to apply my legal and business experience when I'm evaluating and assessing opportunities in order to really provide that legal advice and strategy to a company like RSI.
Well, I personally believe that having a holistic point of view is definitely an asset at RSI. As I mentioned before, during my professional and working life, I have alternated between business management and software development positions, such as iOS developer for many years. And I think this experience has allowed me to accompany RSI in establishing software operations from Colombia, focusing effectively on our collaborators and clients. I think it's a balance between business and people, and we should always keep an eye on that. And the second set of skills I'm inclined to mention is constant learning and adaptability. Definitely this growth mentality is what keep us here and keep us as market leaders, and will allow us to continue to set higher standards for ourselves and the industry as a whole.
I can go next. I think Emilia, Nancy, and Edgar, I won't repeat what they said, but I do think what they said, it certainly helps people here succeed at the company. A couple additional factors, I'd say, not just on the legal team, of course, but really across all of RSI. Those who succeed here are the ones who like a fast-paced environment. They know how to prioritize the most important work on their plate because there's plenty of it. And really they're able to communicate at an A+ level across different cultures and across different geographies. Also, I think the most successful employees are those who are proactive in raising their hands for new opportunities and for such assignments and don't just wait for that to come to them.
I love all of the insights that you shared there. I think from being committed, having business-oriented approaches, communicating, asking questions, and continuous learning, those are things that could take you anywhere. Luis, in what ways do you think that Rush Street Interactive is pushing the needle on diversity and inclusion? And are there any traditional degrees that are a requirement to be at Rush Street Interactive?
Well, I'll answer the second part first. You said, what traditional degrees are a requirement. I don't think there are requirements like that. And like I mentioned in the beginning, we have so many different roles and so many different ways to work at RSI that there's not really one unique path, as you've seen here from all of the panelists. In terms of D&I, here at RSI, it's a little different than other US companies because almost from our very, very beginning, we've been a global company. The core of our software developers are in Estonia, Edgard's in Colombia, and our second market that we entered into with real money gaming was actually launched in Colombia in 2018. So for us, having a diverse workforce is natural. And the word diversity here means, much more than just the traditional notions of gender and ethnic diversity. We here at RSI, we strive for what D&I is really meant to achieve, which is diversity of thought, in all the decisions that we make in this company. So that includes, of course, gender and ethnicity, but also educational background, language, age, and a lot of other factors. In fact, we actually took a huge step forward in D&I just earlier this year, in about April, at a retreat where we brought together 70 of the highest leaders in the organization globally. And one of the main topics was a D&I presentation and workshop where different people came forward and they talked about their journeys. So for me, in the end, it's tackling D&I head on like that. That helps RSI move the needle.
Thank you for your opinions on that. And I think it's really impressive that RSI from the get-go was set out to be a global and diverse company. So I love that. Thinking just about the tech and gaming industry overall, both are pretty well known for skewing highly male. Nancy and Emilia, did you have any challenges, or do you still have any challenges facing you as a woman working in the tech and gambling industry?
Well, for me, being a woman is already challenging, but sure, there are different challenges when working in this industry, especially when you lead big teams. In my case, this one was one of the biggest challenges to win the respect of my employees and make them believe in me and follow me. So as it is very common for bosses to be males, people are not exactly comfortable with having female leaders. So yes, it takes some time to build that relationship with the team and to gain respect. And another challenge has to do with the different summits and conferences you must go when working in this industry, because especially the gambling industry, where almost 20% of the participants are males, and you need to fit there, mainly being very intelligent and creative sometimes. But yes, those are the challenges for me. Nancy, what do you think?
So I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Being a lawyer in technology and the gaming industry can be tough to begin with. But when you're one of the only women or mother in the room, or when you will inevitably face some form of gender discrimination, you can feel lonely, angry, or stressed. So one of the most important bits of advice that I can give to young women is that you really need to do your due diligence about company culture when you're looking at potential employers. Stay away from places with bro culture because they still exist in the tech world. Second, find mentors and sponsors really early in your career and continue to find those people as you grow, and really nurture those relationships as you mature, as you develop personally and professionally. And those mentors and sponsors can be women and men. And then third, I would suggest you join organizations of women in your same industry, and generally, it's really important to be part of a community of like-minded women to really help you navigate the male-dominated world of tech and gaming. It's a super exciting career path, and I wouldn't have it any other way. However, as a woman, you'll need to overcome a variety of challenges that your male counterparts probably may never face. So good luck.
Thank you for your advice. And I think, Nancy, finding mentors and sponsors is really crucial. And I think that brought great perspective and makes me think, Edgar and Luis, as male allies, how do you think that RSI can advocate for and empower more women in the industry?
Yeah, I can take that one first. So I think RSI advocates for and empowers women in the tech and gaming by really putting our money where our mouth is. We hire and we promote women into leadership positions. Just as some examples, in addition to Nancy and Emilia, who are here, we have female representation on our board of directors. Our C-suite has 2 females who help set the agenda for our entire company. Our country director in Mexico is female, and our vice president of information security, which is a role where over, I think, 80% of the resumes we received for the job were from males, is a female who we're thrilled chose RSI, and because of our inclusive culture, and because we offer, I think, with a pretty unique mix of collaboration, autonomy, and the flexibility of remote work. Edgard, what do you think?
Yeah, thanks. I believe we are achieving this with efforts in multiple dimensions. First, we support women's community in technology and other areas and promote balanced hiring. Just to give an example, the vertical I was in charge of before had, I don't know, at least 6 females, and that shows our commitment. We have the precise goal of achieving gender equity and guaranteeing salaries focused on roles and experience, not gender. That's a big one. I know this is a long road and we still have ways to go, but I'm excited to work for a company that is taking the right steps to make our industry more inclusive. Definitely.
That's fantastic. I think not just on the hiring end, but also making sure that there's equity in pay is just something that's really refreshing to see. Nancy and Emilia, in what ways do you think that Rush Street Interactive is shaping the future? And what makes it exciting to work there?
So RSI is innovative in its approach to growth, not only in the US, but also its expansion into Latin America. And for me, it allows me to develop a global approach to intellectual property protection and enforcement. And I also get to continue learning about privacy law and data protection because the laws of each country are different. There is never a dull moment at RSI, and I thrive on that.
Well, in my case, I would say the opportunities you get here because they are unique. RSI is a company where you can grow and really build a career. In my case, I started working here when I was 29 as performance manager, and today, 2 years later, I am already the marketing director for LATAM. So that's an example that if you work hard, you grow, and RSI leaders really value what you're worth. So we are a very innovative company, and working in a high growth technology organization brings so many opportunities.
That's amazing to hear. And Emilia, I think it's just a great representation of the hard work that you bring to the team every day. So congratulations on those growth achievements. Edgar, thinking of our HITEC scholars, as a student entering the workforce or a professional pivoting within their current role, what do you think that they could expect working at a company like RSI? Can you share maybe a little bit about the culture, even the remote environment? We have, a couple different countries represented here. And so what does achieving balance look like?
Sure. Well, working in a company like RSI involves interacting with people from many cultures. For example, we have an engineering presence with tech hubs in Estonia, Canada, and Colombia, which means that we must be prepared to understand everyone's approach without bias. That's definitely, like, for us, having that opportunity to share with so many different cultures comes with that challenge, right? Additionally, we seek to create and maintain high performance teams from engineering, which implies a high level of expertise, absolute transparency, and frank and respectful communication. Now, about the culture, the one that we are establishing here is one of absolute respect and trust. We are very selective when hiring, not only in the technical aspects, but also in terms of the cultural fit. All our collaborators know their area deeply and complete their work with total self-management. That's the only way you can have remote teams working seamlessly across different time zones, global locations, everything. Now, how do you get noticed in a remote-only environment? I believe that in a world that is as competitive as the current one, we must aim for excellence which can only be achieved if there is a passion for what we do. Seeking to be the best allow us to grow and improve constantly. However, our ability to share this knowledge with our teams and through communities, for example, on meetups, community events, etc., will ultimately lead us to be recognized. And finally, regarding the work-life balance, here we seek to maintain a balance between life and work, although our clients are essential and we work really hard to keep them happy. We understand that organizations are built by their collaborators and they can only give their 100% if they feel satisfied, not only at work, but also in their personal lives and the possibility of sharing with their friends and family.
Thank you so much, Edgar. I think from all of your responses today, it's clear to see that there's so much pride in working for a company like RSI, and you bring really great talents and skills to the table. I'd love for our scholars to be able to connect with you beyond this event. Would you maybe be able to share how they might be able to do so?
Yeah, probably not too much of a surprise, but I'm of course available by email, and that is Panetto@rushstreetinteractive.com, and also by LinkedIn.
Same here. You can reach out through my email, perez@rushstreetinteractive.com, or my LinkedIn account.
I can also be reached at my email. It's n.ayala@rushstreetinteractive.com or LinkedIn. I also live in Las Vegas. So if you're out in Las Vegas, connect with me for coffee or something.
Please feel free to connect with me via email at Aguirre, AGUIRRE @rushstreetinteractive.com or LinkedIn. And also if by chance you are in Colombia, as a proud Colombian, I would love to meet with you to have a good Colombian coffee.
I'm going to have to take you up on that the next time I end up in Colombia. I have absolutely loved getting to know Rush Street Interactive more and all of these rockstar leaders. Thank you so much for showcasing your careers and the wonderful things that RSI is doing to being an inclusive and welcoming organization. I look forward to staying connected with all that you are doing and the next paths that you all forge. Thank you so much and happy Hispanic Heritage Month.